Welcome to another edition of the Columbia Cougars Coaches Show on Mediacom Channel 22. My name is Cosmo with the Zimmer Radio Group in Columbia, Y107 and KTGR, ESPN Radio, and play-by-play man for the Columbia Cougars soccer squad. With me, head coach of that soccer team, John Klein. Welcome.
Thank you, Cosmo.
The last couple matches for the Cougars as we catch you up to where we're at right now. You had the 2-0 win at home over Bellevue, and then the 1-1 tie playing Westminster over in Fulton. Let's go back to the win over Bellevue out of Nebraska. Talk about that 2-0 victory.
I mean, the victory's always good. A shutout's good. It was on our field, and a team that hadn't won a game all year. We felt pretty comfortable about getting a victory, but I would have liked for it to have been a little more definitive. A few more goals were to be had, and but the guys did the job, and the win is a win, and we continued on at that point.
Yeah, there were several opportunities, and that's one of those games where you got a fairly early goal, but at the same time, all it takes is one awkward bounce the other direction. You get a team that has struggled but has fought in a lot of their matches, and you give them new life, with one goal. And I know there were several opportunities early, a couple bars hit and a couple wide open nets missed, and you got to be careful if you let teams hang around in a close game like that.
Exactly, and for an 0-10 team, really not a bad soccer squad. They moved the ball pretty well, maybe lacked a finisher, and they played an awfully high line. We had several breakaways in that contest, and would like to have seen one or more, a couple more finished. But the guys are continuing to play good soccer. We're getting a lot of scoring opportunities, so it's just a matter of finding that a little bit more. And
then against NCAA Division III in Westminster, a game you guys led 1-0. The final 11 minutes or so, they got the equalizer, and then finished off at a 1-1 tie after overtime.
Exactly, the same theme that we were just discussing, right? 1-goal lead against the Division III opponent. Not taking anything away from Westminster. They played extremely hard. It was a physical match, maybe our most physical match of the year. But I thought we should have put that team away, had a few more opportunities. Dan Rapp out of the back hit the inside of the post, went across the goal mouth. Can't believe that one didn't go in. And then they scored, and they were awfully excited, and they made life extremely difficult for us. So the tie was, would have preferred a win. Not the greatest result, but not a loss, and we'll move forward. And surprisingly, I thought that tie would drop us out of the top 25, and we actually moved up in the rankings. So still something to play for there.
Most definitely. And the team has climbed out to where are you sitting currently in the rankings?
Sit 19th. So we continue to get our ranking points, and maybe there's just an outside shot that if we wouldn't win the conference tournament, we could still possibly be considered for a national at large berth.
And that conference tournament, obviously the team that everybody's kind of looking up at right now is Hannibal LaGrange. They're in the top. They were 16. Did they move up at all in there?
I think they might be 14th, and it just looks like it's going to be difficult to catch them in the conference. There's only 8 teams in the conference, and they only have they've beaten pretty much everybody. I think they have 1 or 2 games left, so it's not looking good. And we want to finish second in conference though, and host a home conference tournament match if at all possible. And I shouldn't be putting an end to that. There's still an outside shot that
you have to get some help, obviously, yeah. and then you got to take care of yourself because you still have several conference games left.
Absolutely,
including with William Woods, which by the time this will be on the air, that match will be over. But as we preview it for taping on this Wednesday, the night match tonight is a team that they've scored a lot of goals, and they're sitting with only 1 loss in conference play as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So the game tonight is big, dangerous opponent. They have a couple outstanding attacking players. We haven't been finding the goal as much as we would have liked, so I expect a nice battle tonight, and I expect a big crowd.
And the rivalry, obviously, between William Woods and Columbia College, whether it's on the volleyball court, the basketball court, on the softball field, there's always quite a rivalry between Columbia and Fulton on that match.
It is, and then on top of that, former player Lloyd Jacobs is over there as an assistant coach, so they probably know what we're going to bring to the field tonight. A few little tips from Lloyd, and so it should be an exciting contest.
And we'll come back, talk a little more about the Cougars, a couple of awards on the players' side, and also talk a little bit about the women's program that head coach John Klein and assistant coach John Deshay are heading up and building as we speak. And next year at this time, this would be a doubleheader matchup with William Woods in conference play. We'll come back and talk more with head coach John Klein about Columbia Cougar soccer on Mediacom Channel 22.